forget now. Who the fuck knows? But I remember being in there one night, and we weren't doing comedy. We just, like, I was broke living in a car then.
You were?
And I was having more fun than, like, yeah, I was living, like, in front of Ralphie's house.
Oh, my God.
And some nights Ralphie would let me in, and some nights he'd be sleeping already.
Was that when he lived in that place where he had the most massive stairs? He used to live in a place where it was like the highest, steepest stairs to get up to it. And I'd be like, why, Ralphie?
No.
Why?
This is when he was still broke. This is when he was on, when we were
This was like...
this is when he was in Doug Stanhope's. Doug Stanhope, had a friend, Andy Eindrist had rented that apartment. And he went to Alaska to live with a girl. So Doug Stanhope took it over, and Ralphie needed a place to stay. Trust me, there was no stairs there. Ralphie broke the toilet 8 times in 2 years.
Oh, my God. Are you fucking kidding me?
It was a toilet for like a Hollywood, It was like a condo for like Hollywood bimbets in the 50s. And Ralphie's dropping 600 pounds, cracking the toilets fucking once a month.
We were going to a gig once, and the car was rubbing. He was so heavy that the car was like leaning down, like, and it was like...
Was this the Forerunner?
Yeah, and he could hear it going, and he goes, I don't know what that is. And I was like, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, he popped the fucking springs in that car. Let me tell you something, Toyota, if you know where that car is, buy it and put it in your fucking showrooms. Like, if you go to there's a Toyota place in Denver, when you walk in the showroom, they had a car with 5 million miles or 3 million miles, something crazy. It had gone around the earth twice, and it still ran.
Wow.
They would prove, so they wanted all those cars back.
Right. Well, here's Ralphie's.
Yeah, so Ralphie, I think Ralphie's nephew still has the Forerunner. Ralphie gave it to him when he won Last Comic Standing. They fixed it up.
Yeah, because it was right before that. I remember him talking about that he'd done a pilot for the Last Comic Standing. And then I was like, it was before reality shows. So he was trying to explain it to me. We all live in a house. I was like, it sounds awful. He's like, no, it's going to be a great show. I'm going to do the show. That's
funny that Jay Moore created it at the time.
Yeah.
That's how hot he was. After we got here, Jay Moore.
Well, Jay Moore was at the top of his fucking game. For a while there, he was like on every show, and he couldn't miss. He was in every movie.
Remember, they gave him first he played the agent.
Right.
And then they gave him a show on Fox as an agent.
That's why. Right.
And him and Ralphie became tight, and then Ralphie would open for him on the road. In that process, Jay Moore had a black friend that was really funny, but didn't do stand-up.
Not a comic?
No. He was a black dude that was funny, and he would bounce shit off people. Jay would keep him around to bounce stuff. And I forget what his name is. It was him and Jay that created.
Well, Ralphie one time.
Last Comic Standing.
I went to I opened one time in Vegas for Jeff Ross, and Ralphie was the MC. That's how long ago. And Jeff would say to Ralphie every night, "You got to do all your time before Bonnie," because he couldn't follow it. Even if Ralphie did 5 minutes after me, Jeff would have a hard time with it because he was fucking funny.
He was funny.
So he would do all his time before me, and then I'd have to go out there and eat it for a half hour, and then Jeff would go on. And every night we'd go back to Jeff's room or Ralphie's, I don't remember, but, smoke pot, and Jeff would say, hey, what about this? And Ralphie was just so good at telling him, oh, you put in your punchline before your setup, or, do that joke before you do that joke, or here's a line, just smoke, not caring about it. He wasn't, really thinking, and Jeff was making notes and writing it down, and he was just good at doing that. And,
When he got on Last Comic Standing, he was already a headliner.
Yeah.
That's what people have to understand.
Yeah.
That's why it was impossible for that fan to win, and people knew it, and they felt weird about it. But NBC had to go with some ethnic... I don't know. I don't know what went down. But Ralphie, I remember doing the same with him at his house at 2 a.m. while he was cooking. He was the guy that told me that I had to stop playing for the back of the room. He told me right to my face.
Right.
People think that people are mean. Like if I say something to Lee, they'll hit me with a tweet later. You shouldn't talk to Lee that way. I'll never forget, the comedy advice I got was all bad. Anybody who ever said something to me about my set wasn't pleasant, and he was trying to help me.
Well,
it's not pleasant.
Right. But that's, we're the business that we're in is that there's no school or anything. How you learn is other comedians. So if the comedians that are ahead of you don't tell you, then, it's like there's things that you can't fucking know until somebody tells you about it, And now everyone's so nice. It's like acting class all the time. You're great. You're great.
Yeah, no, let me tell you something.
So people aren't getting better in some ways.
He said something to me, Bonnie, I'm going to tell you what it is, and I might cry.
Oh, no.
Because he was cooking as he said it to me. He was cooking. He was 600 pounds, 700 pounds. He barely fit in the kitchen. In those days, he would have to do like a 360 like a robot in the kitchen to turn around. And that's why he used to drink all his orange juice. And he would go crazy. Coco, really?
That's a good impression.
You left me a swallow of orange juice? He said something to me one night, and I was high on coke. And I fucking didn't even sleep on this floor. I just went in my car and cried. That's how hard he hit me one night. And I never held it against him because he turned me into a comic.
What did he say to you?
He said that I had blown up the room. He goes, you blew up that fucking room tonight, Coco. You're a funny motherfucker. And he said something. We were still broke. I mean, everybody was broke.
Right.
I was living off him. He was living off his mom. Somebody was sending him checks. Mm-hmm. He was opening up for Jay Moore. Like, he was headlining.
Yeah.
And he was stirring whatever the fuck he was cooking. And he goes, you're not going to get, I don't even know how he said it.
Right.
He said to stop playing to the back of the room.
Right.
He goes, you're going to starve until you learn how to play to the front of the room, Coco. You keep playing to the back of the room, and those people don't pay in the back. They're comics.
Right.
And I remember looking at him like, what the fuck are you talking about? Playing to the back of the room. What the fuck? And I remember getting in the car and popping the car seat back and going, he's right.
It's a tough lesson to learn.
It's tough. When I go back there, I'm worried about what the comics think. I'm making fun for the comics because all the comics would get in the back, and I perform for the comics. And he goes, you never see a successful comics comic. He goes, you'll never see a successful comics comic.
Well, I feel like you have to do a little of both, You don't want to be just the guy that's selling it to, you want to it's like a Doug Stanhope or something. He's doing a little bit of both. He's still trying to make the comics laugh,
That was a tough lesson to eat
but
at the fucking 12-year mark or something. Oof. Like in 2001, he told me that.
But it's true. It's like you see all these comics making that mistake.
Yeah, I kept doing it. And I would fucking destroy the comics in the back, but the people in the front would look at me like, you're not funny, Like, do we know this shit? Like, it was just weird.
I used to watch Andy Kindler.
Yeah.
The audience would do, because all the comics would come in the back, the improv, Andy Kindler would go on, and all the comics were laughing, and this was what the audience was doing. They just kept turning and looking around, like, what the hell are these people laughing at? Like, we don't get what is going on at all.
They didn't get it.
No, we'd just be, like, losing our shit back there.
That was some advice he gave me. He told me to throw a joke out once, which, those jokes that you get emotionally attached to?
Yeah.
And he was like, I know you think it's funny, but it's fucking horrible.
Oh, my God.
Like something crazy. And I was like, Jesus Christ. And, I never wanted to punch him or call him fat. Like, I get it, because he's ahead of me.
But you
have to listen to
someone like that in your life.
You
Rich and I say all the time, we're like, the quickest way to get unfunny is to get fans. I mean, like, once you start playing to people that already like you, it's like it's so easy to fall into that trap. That's why comedians that get really big, a lot of times they have a hard time staying sharp because they never have to work through that.
That's what happened to me this year.
You got too many fans.
I fucking started playing to the fans and started fucking with me.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was fucking with me, and even when I shot the Netflix, it was fucking with me.
Yeah.
And then after the Netflix on the plane ride, it hit me like a punch to the fucking mouth and nose. And I was like, I've been fucking around for the last 3 years. I'm going back to saying shit I want to say. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about the consequences. I'm 55.
Well, that's the thing is that it's always like a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
No, what are they going to say?
Yeah.
They're not going to like you. They're not going to laugh. If you're yourself,
yeah,
they're going to appreciate that more than anything else. I've seen guys that do a movie that have no comedic talent at all, and they go on stage and they bomb for 40 minutes, but they tell shit about themselves, and the people leave happy.
Right.
As long as you're yourself. That's
Right.
all they want to see.
Right.
That's what the audience
Some
wants.
authenticity of some
They
kind.
want some authenticity. That's it. That's better than
Right.
going up there and playing to them. That's,
Right.
You know, I want to. Every time I watch a clean comic, I go, "Wow, what the fuck are you giggling about?" No,
Why did you like him? What did he do?
he did an error.
I knew a second ago, but now it's... Just keep going from where you told it, because then... Okay.
You know that little forehead you got?